comic book fans everywhere. You are now listening to the official Crossover Comics Podcast with your hosts at JJ's Comic Stuff and at Longbox Entertainment.
What is going on, everybody? Thank you for once again joining us on the Crossover Comics Podcast. My name is Jeremy, aka JJ's Comic Stuff, everywhere on social media. You will not be hearing a whole lot from me today because my voice is pretty much shattered and done for the weekend. Next to me is my co-host, Longbox Entertainment, as always. And then we have a special guest today, our resident Deadpool expert and general comic book encyclopedia, Navajo Jones. What is up, my guy?
What's going on? Thank you for guys having me. Looking forward to this amazing show here.
Hey, man.
It's going to be fantastic.
Of course, man. We're glad to have you, man. I remember because it was another one of our Crossover Comics, part of the Crossover Comics family, Loco, or as Chaos King Comics now as he's known as. When he reached out to me, it said that you were interested to be on the show. I messaged you immediately. I was like, yes, we got to have Nav on the show, man. Come on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, since this is your first time on the show, this is the first time our viewers are seeing you, we always like our viewers to get to know our guests a lot better. So what is your comic book origin story?
Like what got me in the comic books?
Oh yeah.
My dad. It's a funny story. My dad was a Marine, but he was also a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like a very strict guy, but like he was in the comic books, and his favorite character was Thor. So he's the one that got me into it because he was like, no, he saw I liked certain characters, and he was like, no, we're gonna have to get you into some real characters like X-Men and like Thor, Spider-Man, Superman. You know, it's pretty much everybody.
Some characters with some depth.
Pretty much everybody but Batman, because when I was a kid, I loved Batman. Loved me some Batman.
Right.
And my dad was like, no, we got to quell that real quick.
Oh,
so
no. Daddy Navajo.
He got me into...
He didn't like Batman.
so he introduced... I was about like 4 or 5 years old, reading... I started off with Spider-Man and X-Men. Mm-hmm. Really reading, like, getting into comic books with Spider-Man and X-Men, and it just took off from there.
Okay. So I know since you mentioned X-Men, because that kicks off that's a perfect segue, because your favorite character of all time is the Merc with the mouth, Wade Wilson, Deadpool. Yes, that guy in all his beautiful glory. So what was it about Deadpool that interests you, that you gravitate towards?
I gravitated towards Deadpool in the mid '90s because the mid '90s Deadpool, he wasn't like the jokester that everybody knows him to be right now. He was deathly serious. He was like Spider-Man, but he was like Spider-Man, but he killed people. Mm-hmm. And that's what kind of drew me to him, because it was like, oh, this guy's a deadly version of Spider-Man. He's like if Spider-Man actually wanted to like just absolutely beat the shit out of people, mm-hmm. that you get Deadpool. So that's what kind of drew me to him, and the fact that he used to just clown on Wolverine a lot, and I'm particularly not a Wolverine fan.
Oh wow!
So it was just sad because I'm like a huge X-Men fan, but like my least favorite X-Men of all time is Wolverine.
I mean, he is kind of
overrated. That's got to be a unique opinion, because that's not an opinion I hear very often. Usually everybody just loves Wolverine, thinks he's the best.
Nah, I don't think let's say, because of all the massive amount of reading I've done, mm-hmm. like Wolverine is cool when you're younger, because it's like, oh, this guy has claws and he gets to, he's got short man syndrome.
He does.
He's always in every fight, even though he never wins. He's Wolverine.
He really does lose every single fight he's in the comics.
That is so true, and that's something I've never really noticed. I have always felt like Wolverine was a little overrated, especially with the Fox X-Men movies. I think they were way too Wolverine heavy. Like, focus on the team, please. But
Mhm.
that's neither here or
So
there.
it's funny because as a kid, you start, like I said, I'm like, 10, 11, 12, pick it up. I'm like, and especially when the X-Men cartoon came out,
Hmm.
and you're like, oh, Wolverine, he's so cool. You know what I'm saying? He's so edgy, and it's like, oh man, everybody loves him. But you sit back and you think about it, like, when have you ever seen him take a W, like ever, like an outright W? Like, think about it, right? If you think about it, right, like Wolverine's bones are made of metal, and the number one nemesis of the X-Men was a master of magnetism.
That is true. That is
Like,
true.
how is he showing up to this fight?
That is true. Actually, one of the biggest, and I'll have to say this is definitely an ill on Wolverine's part. I think it was during somewhere in the '90s where remember when Magneto took all the adamantium like out of Wolverine's
Yes.
body, and then he
Hmm.
became like very frail, and like his nose disappeared for a period. You remember that?
Yes, I
He
do.
had like the little like do rag thing as a mask. I was like, dude, what is this? Like, why, bro? Like,
And he had the bone claws. Yes, I remember
yeah,
that.
it's the bone claws. He had like freaking claws, like just on his fingertips and stuff. Weird time for the X Men. But yeah, but Deadpool.
When is it not a weird time for the X-Men, though?
Facts,
Oh yeah,
facts.
true. Like right now, it's pretty weird.
I can't even catch up right now. There's too many freaking books going on. I haven't,
Facts.
I haven't read X Men since House of X and Powers of X. That was the last X Men book I read that I could actually like follow. And then
There's so many. There's the Marauders. There's X-Men Red. There's
yes,
um Knights of X.
X-Force, there's
Yeah,
Exterminators,
yeah. X
there's
Force, which Deadpool's a part of.
Captain Britain just got a new run started.
hmm
Kingpin just
I
showed
guess
up.
you can
oh yeah,
consider
because
Captain Britain
Kingpin
a
don't marry
mutant.
Typhoid Mary or something, and
Yeah, Kingpin just showed up to Krakoa.
man, they're just letting everybody in Krakoa now.
Like,
Yeah,
why would Kingpin even be there? Like,
Because he's married to
bro,
Typhoid Mary. She's a mutant.
yeah. And so by marriage, Kingpin could
He's
show
allowed
up.
in.
Because I remember
that's
originally
ridiculous.
when I saw that article, I was like, oh my gosh, like, is Kingpin a mutant? I was like, that would explain so much, man. Like, because he's like super strong, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I read it too, and I was like, oh, that doesn't explain nothing at all. But hey, it is what
But
it
yeah,
is.
that's Typhoid Mary is another one. The reason I got her and Deadpool fights were always classic, especially in the mid or the early to mid '90s.
Mhm.
Her fights with Deadpool were classics,
You know,
and not a lot of people remember her.
what's crazy? I never knew that Typhoid Mary was a mutant until this whole Kingpin thing. I've always associated her with Daredevil because she used to
Mm-hmm.
show up in a lot of Daredevil comics, especially when I want to say it was Ann Nocenti that was on the run. But yeah, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, she showed up in a lot of Daredevil, a lot of Spider Man. She used to beat the hell out of Spider Man too.
Yep. I remember that.
That's
But
when they figured out she was a mutant because she had the split personalities.
but
Her mutant ability is actually split
it's
personality.
actually this. Okay, that's crazy.
That's her mutant ability. She pretty much she's like a. I was like everybody asks her, she's like a street tier Legion.
Okay,
Mm.
okay, I can
Like
see that.
she's a street tier version of Legion.
I can
Like
see
she's
that.
not as advanced as Legion, but it's
Because
more
like,
like
what
just think about
exactly? Like, what's her power set? Like, what exactly? Like, is that just it? Like, she has multiple personalities, or
yeah, she can just flip between personalities, and that's pretty much it.
oh,
It's like
So
Moon Knight,
her
but
mutant, I was gonna say her mutant ability is basically just DID. Like,
DID.
yeah, yeah, right.
It reminds me of. So Nava, are you a big like Dragon Ball head, or do you like Dragon Ball?
Yes, I actually have Super Saiyan 3 Goku tattooed on my forearm.
Look, that's a fan right there.
Would you guys
So,
like to see it?
I mean, sure. I mean, yeah. This would be an exclusive for the YouTube audience.
Here, let me see if I
yeah,
can
there
flip
you
the
go.
camera. Let me give my camera a flip here. Actually, It's I don't know if I could get it in there, but
I can kind of see it.
let's see if
Yeah,
I
you
can
can
get the
kind of
camera.
make it out.
Yeah, it's I get. Let me see it. See if it'll let me flip the camera. Nah, it's not letting me.
Hey, that's fine.
So,
That's fine.
It's all right.
It's fine. But yeah, I have Super Saiyan 3 Goku tattooed on my forearm.
So the fact that we just explained Typhoid Mary and like her power set, it really reminds me of Lunch, the character of Lunch from Dragon Ball. That would
Yes.
sneeze and change personalities. That's exactly what that reminds me of.
You mean Bulma's sister?
Yes.
That everybody forgets about?
Yes.
Yes.
I literally forgot she was
everybody
Bulma's
forgets.
sister.
Everybody forgets that it's Bulma's sister.
Oh wow. She doesn't come to the family reunions, you
No.
know.
I think I'm pretty sure Akira Toriyama forgot she even existed.
Probably did. I mean, at one point he forgot the tail.
He's said that about multiple characters throughout the show's like history. He has said on record that he has forgotten about numerous characters over the years.
Yeah, he forgot.
I bet
That's
he
why they
did.
just make little random cameos in episodes here and there because he forgets they exist until then.
Yeah. I remember
Launch had a random.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead, man.
I said Launch had a random cameo, and it's funny. She had a random cameo during the androids when the androids showed up, and she was in one of the cities that the androids were in, and she had a random. She randomly showed up, and that was it. Like you don't see or hear anything from her ever again. So we all just assume that he put her in there because somebody said something, and then she died, and was never brought back.
Toriyama, I tell you, because I remember one story I read that he forgot that Saiyans had tails, so that's why was it? No, because Gohan showed up with the tail in the first.
Yeah, it was Goten that wasn't. Goten and Trunks were born without tails.
There it is. Yeah, they didn't have tails. He didn't remember. He forgot. He literally forgot that Saiyans had tails. So crazy. Crazy.
That's so crazy to me that you can create something so big and successful and forget half the damn storyline.
So another thing he forgot, and this is funny because this is true. Because even though he didn't create GT, he was a part of the creative team of GT. He approved a lot of the stuff. You know, he forgot that Saiyans can't cut their hair. He loved the Vegeta design of GT.
Right back.
He loved the Vegeta design of GT so much that they were like, hey, I thought Saiyans couldn't cut their hair. And he goes, oh. Just like Vegeta, remember that episode where he grew the mustache? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he forgot. He forgot all about that. Well, I don't know if he forgot. I think he just ignored it.
He was like, hey, this is my universe. I can do whatever I want. Okay.
And honestly, that's acceptable, especially in like a medium like anime or comics or something. Like,
that's
you can do what you want. That's the whole point of the art form, right? Like,
that is true. It actually, speaking of doing whatever he wants, let's get back. We gotta get back on Deadpool. I know our listeners are used to us. We're like squirrels, you know. We're like squirrel. We go all over the place. So back to Deadpool. I hope this doesn't ruin our friendship. No, I really don't. I really hope. I've never really been a big Deadpool fan like that. I will read him. I find him interesting. But I don't know. It's something about him. I just couldn't. I don't know. I just couldn't. I didn't gravitate. I never went out of my way to read a Deadpool comic, if that makes any sense.
Okay. So that's fine. I mean, I understand. Do you like Lobo?
Kinda. Not really. I mean, when he's there, he's there.
So maybe it's just that character type that you don't like.
Maybe so. But I will say this. About Deadpool. In Rick Remender's Uncanny X-Force run, that is the best Deadpool I have ever read. One of the most heartfelt moments was from Deadpool, and that's when he was talking to the child Apocalypse. I don't know if y'all read it, but the child Apocalypse.
Yes,
and
I remember.
Yes, and the fact that Deadpool was the one was like, hey, I don't think we should kill this reincarnation of Apocalypse. Like, he's a kid. He has the chance to change. Similar to Deadpool, because at first Deadpool was almost somewhat of an antagonist in a way.
Yeah.
And that just spoke to me. I just really loved it. That's my favorite Deadpool moment.
That's good. That's a good moment. That's a good moment. I think my favorite would have to be Deadpool the End.
The end.
Deadpool the End is my favorite comic book. Because it showed the wide variety of Deadpool and what lengths he would go to for his daughter, right? So it's really, if you guys, I don't want to give any spoilers if you've never read it, but it is a good book because at the end he literally tried to kill death to save his daughter's life because he wanted, his daughter was dying and he didn't want his daughter to die. So he tried to kill death. It was on the verge of killing death to stop his daughter from dying.
Oh, wow.
I just saved it to my Marvel Unlimited library, so
it is a good read. It also shows how actual powerful Deadpool really is, because people just think he's a gag character or like a sideshow character, but he's actually fairly powerful because he's one of few Marvel mutants that can summon the Enigma Force at will. He just doesn't do it. He's one of few that could just like, I want the Enigma Force. The Enigma Force will show up to him.
Because it's Deadpool, he can pretty much do what he wants. If you look at,
he pretty much
he breaks the fourth wall. He had made a whole new Infinity Stone called the Continuity Stone at one point, and then gave it to his writers. Like, that was so good.
And that's funny. And it's funny because, all right, so that's another good storyline because he created a gem, right? So he created a gem called the Continuity Gem. So it gave him the powers to rewrite any storyline he wanted rewrite any storyline he wanted. He could just rewrite it as he sees fit and it would be canon.
Right.
And you know what he did? He went back in the past and resurrected his first wife. And then she ended up breaking up with him, so he was like, I don't want this anymore. This is bogus. So he resurrected just to be heartbroken because he got heartbroken because she died. What's her name? Siren was his first wife, and she died. She was killed. He used the Continuity Gem, went back in time, and saved her. And then she ended up breaking up with him.
And then he gives it to the writers, right? After that.
Yes, he said, but the writers are like, we can't use it. You're the only person that can use it, and he was just like, I don't want it. Dude, I think he ended up throwing it in the sewer.
They put it in they put it in a box or something, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's something like about Deadpool I always found that was interesting, like the fact that he breaks the fourth wall. And I mean, of course, he's not like the only character that does it. You know, She-Hulk or even. I've been catching up on Jeremy Adams' Flash run, and even Dr. Fate did it in one of the issues, and I was like, oh, that's different. Okay. So stuff like that has always been cool because it's very meta, and they can like talk about certain things, even with the construction of said comic or story. Because I always like it when he does it in the movies, which is something I am a very avid fan of. I love the Deadpool movies.
Oh, they're great.
Dude,
I hear a lot of people talk smack on Deadpool 2, but I'm like, no, Deadpool 2 is just as good. It's just great. As good.
So I'll tell you a funny story about me. Deadpool 1 came out Valentine's Day, and it came out Valentine's Day. The opening weekend, I saw that movie 5 times in theaters.
Oh wow!
And I still have all 5 ticket stubs. Okay. So, the first time I went with the girl I was dating at the time, and then the second time I went was like later that night. I went with my brother. My brother wanted to go because he's also a massive Deadpool fan as well. he likes Deadpool and Sabretooth. So I like, I don't like. I like Deadpool, Magneto. Those are my two guys, and Iceman too. So, but then the next day, I was talking to my friend about it. He was like, "Oh, word! I didn't get to go see it." Blah, blah. I'm like, "You want to go today when you get off work?" He said, "Yes." I went again, and then my friend, she had recently just got married, and I was like, "Hey, did you and your husband want to go? Because I've seen this movie like hella times. I know he kind of likes the Deadpool movie, but he's more of a fan of Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
I know who isn't." So she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, I'll go." That's number 4, and then number 5, I went with my kids, which was like a huge mistake.
A little bit.
It was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
But like, they wanted to see it, and I'm like, if Daddy is there to explain what's going on,
maybe it'll be all right.
Maybe it'll be all right. Like maybe I can get away with this.
Hey, at least you ain't try to blame
Their mother
the
wasn't
movie,
too happy though.
like some parents, man. I remember reading like they was trying to blame the movie, and I'm like, you took your kids to see it. Like, why you mad at the movie?
You seen the rating on the dang movie?
I suckered into it because he said it was a love story, and I was like, oh shoot, yeah, it's gotta be a love story. But it's like the second one's a family movie, Hey, it's on Disney Plus now, so it's like, it's streaming on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but you got to adjust your parental guidance controls in order to get.
Seven years later, it's viewable for kids now. Hey, maybe I was onto something.
I mean, if the parental controls, I don't know if they set up. Hey. Oh man, I mean, I do love Deadpool too.
That's too funny.
Because I like Cable. I do like Cable a lot. Because my thing with the X-Men, like the characters, I really gravitate towards. I love the Summers. So I like Cyclops. I know. Oh my gosh, I can hear people already. I like Cyclops.
Dude, I love Cyclops too.
Right? He's so underrated.
He's one of the most popular characters for a reason.
Like, dude, you understand? There's a reason why Mr. Sinister called him the perfect mutant.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why Mr. Sinister, for like decades, has been trying to steal this man's DNA and is finally successful at it. And that's why you have Sins of Sinister going on, because he was finally successful at cloning
after what, like 40 years trying to get it.
Yeah, he finally did it. He finally got it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, see, Cyclops haters. I feel like people that hate Cyclops, man, it's only because they watch the movies, man. Those movies do him such a disservice.
So does
they make him seem like a whiny little douche in the movies. Right. Like they don't make him out to be this like strong, confident leader of the X-Men. He's a whiny little punk. Like
actually,
bro, like there's a lot of depth to him too. Like people fail to realize he didn't want to be the leader of the X-Men.
No.
So when Magneto left, he didn't want. Professor X forced him to be the leader. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to be the leader. Mm-hmm. Magneto left. And Cyclops was like, I don't want to do this, and Professor X forced him to do it.
Yeah.
That's why he passed off the Storm so many times.
X-Men. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Especially after, I think it was Dark Phoenix Saga, when Storm became the leader. Mm-hmm. By way, I really liked her as leader. I think she was one of the best leaders. But still,
Storm's one of the best characters in X-Men, period.
Yes, easy.
Yeah. And
Iceman too. Nobody gives Iceman no love. Bobby Drake.
Iceman's dope,
dude. I was talking about.
He is snubbed.
I was talking about Iceman with my wife one time. I was like, "Babe, you know Iceman?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, like the guy that turned to ice." I'm like, "Oh no. He's not just the guy that can turn into ice now. He can freeze time." Like, I was so excited about that. I had to tell her. She was like, "Oh, okay."
No, cold gotta be that time doesn't exist to you. Like, you can just freeze it. Like, actually freeze time. I'll slow it down. You're just like, you know what? I'm going to go so cold.
Mm-hmm.
Time
that the
stops.
molecules around everything stops.
Man, that's one thing I love about the X-Men characters, the fact that they continuously evolve, Like, and I'm pretty sure.
They keep unlocking new parts of their
know what's funny?
powers, and
I'll tell you, this is a fun fact.
Mhm.
I don't know about currently, but I know I want to say for about 40 years,
Mhm.
Iceman was the only mutant with the powers of ice. There was no other mutant that had the ability to manipulate ice. Chronokinesis, he was the only mutant with that ability.
You know what? Off the top of my head, I can't think of one. Can't think of
Not
the
one.
only other person off the top of my head I could think of that even uses like ice-based abilities would be Blizzard, but that's an Iron Man villain.
Yeah.
And that's an old school Iron Man villain that doesn't get a lot of attention anymore.
Blizzard's not a mutant.
No, all his powers come from his suit, like Iron Man's.
Oh my gosh! Look at that.
That you could really sit back and think about. Even like I said, if it's not technology related, he's the only mutant with chronokinesis. Not cryokinesis.
Yeah, he is.
I'll say we know what you meant.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he's the only one.
That's insane. The fact that you thought about that. There's not a lot of Marvel characters that have like cryo like powers or ice powers.
Yeah, he's one of. I think he's like one of like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I would say we just named half of them at least.
Now DC, they love ice characters, boy. You know, Mr. Freeze, Captain Cold, Icicle. Like they love ice.
Because you got to have ways to counter the Flash. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And that's really the only way you can is using ice or snow or just cold in general.
You know what's crazy is I caught totally off subject, but you know how much flack I caught for that? Because I am. You guys know who One True Nat is, right? On TikTok. So he put out a take one time that said that Iceman was capable of beating the Flash, and so many people roasted him for that, and I'm one of few people that defended him
because he's right.
I said yes, most certainly. I was like, if Captain Cold can take out the Flash every now and then, Iceman, what's stopping him?
He's broken.
Iceman Pro is like a quarter.
If you could stop time, that's the Flash's big thing is he can go faster than time, right? So if you stop time, he ain't got nowhere to go.
It is true.
It's like right. It's like you realize that like he flash froze like a quadrant of hell instantly.
See,
like he flash froze Hellfire.
These characters are broken. I go like, what?
And this is before his Krakoan upgrade. He flash froze Hellfire. Like, you know how cold you gotta be to flash freeze Hellfire.
I tell you, man.
Give Bobby some love, like.
Bobby. That's why I make an argument that X-Men should have their own company at this point because all their characters are so OP at this point. Like nobody can compete, man.
He's running around with the Silver Surfer right now. Like him and the Silver Surfer are running around the galaxy with each other. Like it's crazy.
I need to catch up. I need to catch up on X-Men, man. I'm probably gonna be lost, but I need to catch up because I need to read this stuff because the fact that like
bro, I did the math. The current storyline that's still going on has been going on for almost 2 years straight now, and it's 135 issues long so far. That's counting all the tie-ins, one-shots, prequel series, all kinds of shit.
You talk about the mutants, the Krakoa.
Yeah, it's all still tied under Destiny of X, like it's been going on since like late 2021.
Yeah,
can't do it.
Yeah, it's massive. It's a massive event. Like no mutants can die. Like they even have like Thanos' uncle coming around. Like nah, these mutants gotta go. You know, he wasted a whole planet of mutants quick.
So is that in the whole like? What was it? The Eternals and Avengers X-Men crossover? What was that?
Yes.
Okay. I remember reading something on that, but I'm not even gonna lie. Like Marvel, it's so hard. Like I like Marvel. Don't get it twisted. I do love Marvel. I am more of a DC guy, but I do want to ask you, Nava. Which do you prefer? Is it Marvel or DC? I feel like everyone leans a little bit more over one or the
I lean a little bit more towards Marvel.
Welcome to Smoking Popcorn, where I start the discussion.
Want to know some more fun facts?
Isn't it awesome to see some of your favorite content creators and favorite people, honestly, that you follow here on this app, be a part of this amazing community called the Nerd Initiative?
The Nerd Initiative presents the Comic Press Podcast, hosted by JJ's Comic Stuff.
And if you want to ask me why, I'll tell you simply because to me, so Marvel's storytelling is not as good, but their character development I think is better.
Okay.
So you can pick up a character and read that character, and every character has one shining prominent moment. And I feel like DC has great storytelling only when it comes to the Holy Trinity and the Flash, right? So if you put in a DC Trinity and the Flash, you'll get some amazing storylines. But their character development for these other characters is absolutely dreadful. It's like I'm over here screaming for like some good Booster Gold content, and we haven't been getting it until recently. I mean, like,
and we got 14 different series with Batman in it.
Yeah, but we get Jurassic Batman and, you know, like Playtime Batman or, you know, stuff like that. And it's like, no, can we please get some more Cyborg content? Can I please see Jonathan Stewart at his max, like at least once? Like you made him the Emerald Knight and then he died the next comic book.
Right. You want more variety. And I definitely agree on that. I think DC, they're playing it safe too much. They're sticking with what they know works, and it's honestly getting annoying. Like myself, I'm a huge Batman fan, but bro, I'm not happy with current Batman. I don't like what's going on because literally there's no character development with Batman, and it keeps backtracking, and all the character development he has had. If you look at the current state of Batman, it literally makes zero sense. Like,
you know what makes zero sense, right? Batman 130 makes zero sense. When he fell from orbit and lived.
Yes.
Right? You like, come on, like you fell 240,000 miles from space to Earth.
Yes.
I don't care how good your body armor is.
Not like water or some kind of like soft sand, like hard Antarctic concrete Earth, and got up and walked away. Cratered the ground
and walked away.
Got up and started walking.
Got up and walked away.
Now we've seen not superhumans die from that. But Batman lived.
We've also seen Batman get whooped by a Black Adam that wasn't even powered, but Batman can do stuff like that. See what I'm saying? Like,
right?
I hate it. I'm just like, bro, like,
how do you get knocked? Like like at that point in time, like how do you even get knocked out by anybody is beyond me. If you could survive, not just survive the impact to
get
Earth,
up and walk away.
But get up and start walking. Like he's perfectly fine. Like, I just need this is give me a water and I'm good. Like, splash me in the face with some water. Let me get a Gatorade and I'm ready to go again. And it's like how does like anybody beat you in a fight at this point?
Yeah.
Like, even Superman would struggle. Like, come on, man. Superman would struggle.
Well, the way they write it, Superman does struggle now with Batman.
I feel like they turned Batman into I feel like they turned Batman into a meme.
Yeah.
I think the writers turned him into a meme.
I agree. Because I've always said this. I was like, I like Batman, the Dark Knight detective. But I don't like Batman, the superhero. Because Batman, the superhero, they do too many far-fetched things. And I don't like it.
Like, Batman, for example, right? I love Batman Confidential. It is by far my favorite Batman run of all time. Like, not even close. Batman Confidential is amazing. Amazing. But it's a little over the wall. It's over. I like it because it's like, okay, look, we're gonna take it. Like, we're gonna show you the full extent of what we think Batman can do, right? Detective wise and superhero wise. It's literally compiled into both, and that's why I love Batman Confidential. But it's very cartoony.
Yeah, I mean, and I think what I said like was kind of not, because I do like the more cartoony side of Batman. I do like the ridiculous stuff, and I really wish like the movies and stuff would go more into that era. Like, I love, my favorite era of Batman is actually the Bronze Age, because I love, you know, the Neil Adams stuff, you know, like not necessarily like the goofy, but like that transition period from like the really goofy stuff to like we're getting things a little bit more serious, but we're not at like Batman Year One.
Getting towards the Year One
not
type
full on shark
materials.
repellent.
Yeah.
So not full on shark repellent, but something right in the middle. I got you.
Yeah, like that's my favorite era.
Bro, I really do enjoy me some good campy Silver Age Batman from now and then, though.
I mean,
like,
I do too.
You got to.
I do
Like,
too.
when he fought the snakes and he had that snake lady. Oh my god!
Yes.
He just put up. Oh my god! Yeah, Batman has some really like that kind of stuff. You got that's what as a kid I loved about Batman, and then the Batman animated series, obviously like GOAT series, like that's up there to me when you talk about animated cartoon series of comic books. That is up there with the X-Men.
It is.
The X-Men animated series and the Batman animated series are like this for me, right?
Well, because that's like, as a kid, that's like, at least from the 90s and like further back that's our first introduction to serious Batman. No nonsense, no joking, no word puns, no nothing like that. No rhyming in his dialogue.
Yeah, true. And that beautiful voice.
No weird Robin.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, no bright, flashy colors, no blue in the uniform. It was all black and gray and yellow. Like,
yeah.
The Batmobile had guns. I'm just throwing it. I'm just put it out there. I'm just gonna throw it out there. There was guns in the Batmobile. I'm just throwing it out there. He shot rockets out of the Batmobile. Just throwing it out there. And everybody seems to forget that the Batmobile had Gatling guns in it. I'm just throwing it out. I'm just saying.
Rubber.
he always fired
bullets,
at the tires, but it had Gatling guns in it.
Yeah, he shot
And
rubber
yeah,
bullets. But
supposedly they were rubber bullets.
He had Gatling guns.
Oh man, it reminds me of like from the Dark Knight Returns where he's like rubber bullets. Honest. Oh man, yeah, he did. But yeah, man, I feel like we're like all over the place this episode, which is a whole lot of fun. I love
That's
this.
fine.
Well, that's again. So you said you wanted a Deadpool episode. Well, you got
Boom.
it. Now you're all over the place.
We're literally in a Deadpool episode.
By the end of it, we're going to be talking about squirrels and deer.
True.
Or the Squirrel Girl. No. You ever read the issue where Deadpool stole Batman's cruise bat ship?
No.
He went to Gotham Harbor and stole it, and it's canon to both companies.
What?
Yeah, so it's Deadpool Annual number 1000, and I think it's 2006. He went into Gotham Bay and stole Batman's boat. And you actually see Batman, like, who the hell is that? What? In the background. And you see Deadpool flashing the peace sign as he drives off of Batman's boat.
I can believe
that's nuts. I've got to find this now.
It's Deadpool Annual 1000.
Oh.
And
I'll bet it's going to be hard to find on the apps because it's
Deadpool Annual 1000. I want to say the year was 2006.
Yeah, I don't think Marvel has 2006s on there.
Probably don't, especially if they made a deep reference like that. You know, back then, for Marvel and DC to do a crossover, it wasn't nothing. You know, they weren't like big companies like how they are right now.
Right now, they're these big multi-billion-dollar organizations.
Mm-hmm.
It's canon to both companies because it was reference to when Gambit and Wolverine stole the Batmobile.
Oh, from the 90s.
He made reference
crossover. Yeah.
Yes. So he made reference, and Deadpool made reference to that, and that's when he went in and stole he stole his Batman's boat.
Bruh.
See, we're
Batman.
learning all kinds of stuff about Deadpool today.
Yep.
That's another thing about Batman, bro. If you can survive falling from orbit, nobody should be stealing your whip, man.
You can survive falling. You know what gets me about Batman? He can survive falling from orbit, but Lois Lane stole the Hellbat suit from him. You know what I'm saying? Could survive falling from orbit. Could survive falling from orbit. Right? Oh, it just fell from 240,000 miles from space to Earth. Gets knocked out by a guy with a cane.
And still has problems with people like Riddler. Still has problems with people like Joker. Like, bro, these
Riddler.
people aren't even powered. You should just be able to smite these people if you're falling out of orbit. You know, like
Riddler put hands on him. Joker put hands on him in Endgame.
Yeah.
See, now people don't remember that fight. Joker was stabbing him the hell up in Endgame.
So a lot of people, they be forgetting like Joker is not just like, yeah, he's a clown, but he's not just like a clown. Like, dude can actually withstand his own between Batman. Like, even from the
he can fight.
beginning. He can fight. Like, people forget.
But you know who Joker was scared of though? Deadpool. Deadpool would kill him.
Because Deadpool didn't care.
Yeah.
Deadpool just doesn't
like, oh.
care. You can do whatever you want to Deadpool, and it doesn't affect him. So
actually,
he knows he's going to win eventually. He just has to wait.
Because Nava, I actually have a question about like
What's up?
Deadpool. So I read somewhere that Deadpool is actually like immortal. Like he literally cannot die because of like his relationship with death or something. Is that like true? Do you remember anything like that?
So yes, Deadpool is actually immortal, and it's not his mutant power anymore because he's not allowed in Krakoa.
Oh.
Deadpool is actually immortal due to the fact that death shattered his soul. So the only way he can die is if you collect every piece of his soul and put it back together.
Oh.
Now, because what happened was Thanos lifted the curse. Because Thanos cursed him with eternal life because his relationship with death.
Okay.
Then he died. He died, and death went missing. So Thanos said the only person that could find death would be Deadpool. So he had Deadpool resurrected. In resurrecting Deadpool, he used necromancy and shattered his soul. So he can't die unless you gather all the pieces of his soul.
Wow.
Imagine that. Like, forget heartbreak, bro. Like, he can literally be like, bro, she shattered my soul, bro.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you have to understand the relationship between him and Death is so deep that he cheated on his wife with Death.
Oh, wow.
So he was married to Shikla, the queen of the demons, who was Mephisto's ex-wife.
Gosh, I need to read some more Deadpool.
So
Deadpool got a thing for these like evil chicks, man.
Deadpool was banging. So he not only did he. People are saying Deadpool has a body count, right? Of women he slept with. You know, Mary Jane is on that list.
Stop playing.
Yeah, Mary Jane's on that list. So Demon Queen's on that list. Silver Sable's on that list. Black Cat is on that list. Rogue is on that list.
I knew Silver Sable was because that was a big deal in the 90s.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait, what? Black Cat too?
Black Cat, Rogue, Sue Storm.
Pretty much everybody.
Sue Storm.
Every major character's girlfriend, basically.
Squirrel Girl. Yeah, your girl wasn't safe around him. Like he's Deadpool.
He's that friend in the friend group that you literally cannot leave your girl around.
So this is funny. This is funny.
You know what?
That's funny because
that's why I couldn't vibe with him. I knew I had a bad feeling about Deadpool. I knew it.
So I'm gonna bring this up. Ready? You want to read Deadpool? It's Deadpool Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
Where he teamed up with Sue Storm, and she's in the shower, and he's laying in the bed, and the Thing walks in, and gets mad, and starts attacking Deadpool. So the one weakness Deadpool has is if you brain him, it'll make him forget what he's doing, so he'll stop attacking you, right? So Thing hits him so goddamn hard in the head, it doesn't knock him out, but it kind of like presses a reset button. So he starts until he's fully healed again, he doesn't know what he's doing. So Thing pretty much crushes his skull in. Sue comes out of the bathroom. He goes, "Come on, Sue, of all people, you choose Wade? I understand Reed." He's like, "I understand Reed is not always there for you, but why him?"
Bruh.
He's like, "I ain't even mad that you cheated on your dude, my best friend.
Yeah.
I'm just mad you did it with him."
Yeah, why him? Well, so that's funny. So that's Marvel Unlimited Deadpool. There's and then if you want to read Spider-Man Deadpool series, where you find out Deadpool is married to Shikla, who's the Demon Queen, because Deadpool ended up killing Spider-Man in that series. He killed Peter Parker because he didn't know Peter Parker was Spider-Man, so he shot Peter in the head and killed him. And then he asked Shikla to bring him back to life, and then shot and killed him again. Like, she brought him back to life. She brought him back to life because he was like, I think I made a mistake. I think I killed an innocent man. Bring him back to life. And so when she brought him back to life, he shot him again and was like, well, if he was innocent, he wouldn't have went to hell.
Oh, wow. I mean,
but the reason why he went to hell is because Mysterio dragged him there. He wasn't supposed to go there. Mysterio dragged him there.
Wow.
Yeah. So Deadpool is
he's a menace.
That's a menace. Yes.
Deadpool's that guy, man. I'm telling you, I love me some Deadpool. Just the simple fact his relationship with death is so deep. Like, people don't understand. Like, there's people that flirt with death, right? So, like, you know, you get your characters that like flirt with death. Like, they teeter between death and life, and it's like, oh man, this guy, he was close to dying. Deadpool dies so that he can have a quickie with death. Right?
Because he knows he's just going to come back.
He was like, man, I am in a freaky mood right now. All right, I want to freak. Nobody freaks me better than death does. So he picked a fight with the Hulk, just so the Hulk could crush his skull in and kill him, so he can have a quick 3-4 minute session with death.
All right, bro. I'm about to read some freaking Deadpool. All I had to do was be on this podcast episode with Nava, and now I need to read this madness. I need to experience. I feel,
bro. I've been adding Deadpool reads to my reading list like this whole podcast. I've been sitting here on my phone adding things to Marvel Unlimited.
Bro, same here, bro. Same here. Like, bro.
Yeah. So Deadpool. That's why I love Deadpool, is because, you know, your favorite character may flirt with death, but he actually bends over a coffee table.
That's crazy.
Read Deadpool to the end to get that joke.
Bro, I mean, what else do we say after that?
No, your favorite character teeters the line between life and death, and he's letting loose a love all over her body. So it's like, you know, and it's funny. All right, so if you guys play video games, you play mobile games. There's a game called Marvel Strike Force. In that game, it's called Lady Deathpool. There's a character named Lady Deathpool. It's the child of Death and Deadpool.
With the ponytail, right? She has like a little ponytail.
Yeah. Well, no, that's Lady Deadpool. Lady Deathpool is the child of Death in Deadpool. So Deadpool and Death had a kid. Her name was Lady Deathpool or Deathpool.
Wow.
And she looks like Death, but she has a Deadpool mask on. And it's like the same. It's like the gray, and it's pretty cool. Like I said, I thought it was pretty unique that they introduced her as a unique character. She's not in the comic books anywhere. It's unique to that game.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. I haven't, because I think I played Strike Force before, but it was like taking up too much space on my phone. I like deleted it or something.
Oh yeah, that's the reason why I stopped playing it, because it's like 30 gigs after a while, because they got so many damn characters in there.
It takes up a lot of space. So, like,
See, Marvel Snap, that's why I like Marvel Snap. It doesn't take up much room on my phone at all. It's all off the server. It's not all downloaded to my phone. Like,
right, man.
But no, Deadpool, that guy. You guys definitely should read Deadpool, man. I'm telling you, he's a good read. Now, I can tell you that what series that I read it, I particularly didn't like it, but it wasn't bad. I just didn't like it. When he became King of the Monsters, back in I think it was 2021, I didn't particularly like that series. I didn't particularly like that because he was teaming up with Elsa Bloodstone. Oh, that's another chick that's on his.
Oh my gosh!
On his hit list. That's a notch on his belt right there. Is Elsa.
Not Elsa from Werewolf by Night.
Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah.
Elsa Bloodstone. He smashed.
Oh my
God. I'm saying?
Wade.
I feel like people get a hold of Deadpool and they're like, "Oh, I get to write for Deadpool. Who am I going to make you sleep with this time?"
Again, I don't want to give spoilers because Deadpool the End shows a lot of people he smashed. One of which was Captain Marvel. Another one was Bobby Drake, because Deadpool does swing
I'm surprised
both ways.
Captain Marvel would even deal with his nonsense.
Oh no, he smashed that.
Crazy. Not Carol. Nah, can't be Carol.
Carol Danvers, and trust me, I'm not a fan of Carol Danvers, but he hit that.
What? I'm gonna have to read this.
Bro,
Deadpool
I cannot wait
man.
to see if they put Deadpool officially into the MCU, and just like, bro, that's gonna be half his dialogue in every movie he's in. Every time one of those chicks from that list walks into a scene, he's going to be like, I know you. You know, like, how could Ryan Reynolds not reference that list if he's put into the MCU?
Bro, I was shocked. I was shocked when I found out him and Rogue got it on once. That shocked me. Because she couldn't, she wanted to know what it was like to be Deadpool. He was like, baby, you don't want to get involved with me. My mind will fuck you up.
Oh, so you really don't, though. Like,
you're like, what's inside here will mess you up for life. Another good read for Deadpool. Another good read for Deadpool is Deadpool's Secret Wars.
Okay, is this during the?
So Deadpool's Secret Wars shows Deadpool what Deadpool was doing during the Secret Wars.
Like during the Jonathan Hickman one, right? Like the
so is that Deadpool's Secret Wars?
Like the
yes.
Second Secret War? Okay.
Yeah, Deadpool's Super Secret Wars. Yes, it was showing what he was doing, like him one-shotting Kang the Conqueror by kicking him in the nuts.
Of course, that's how he would.
Oh, Kang, he was like Kang. He was like Kang. I know how you work, and he was like, because he had a costume that looked like Daredevil. Because his original costume got destroyed, so he put on a costume that looked like, and all he did was write, instead of DD on the chest, it said DP. Mm-hmm. And so Kang thought he was fighting Daredevil, and he was like, "No, I can." He's like, "You're just a." He's like, "You could." He's like, "You're just a time." He's like, "You're just a time jumper" or something like that. So he predicted that Kang was going to show up behind him and just mule kicked him in the nuts.
That's great.
Only Deadpool, man.
And he's the original, and it's canon that he was the original bearer of the black costume.
Like the symbiote?
The Venom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ah.
So the Venom. So it's written. So Donny Cates, first of all, Donny Cates has gone on record and said he hates this and he wish he could write it out of existence, but he can't. Donny Cates hates this. Like he's been on record that he actually hates Deadpool. Like he doesn't like Deadpool at all. Yeah. He doesn't like
that doesn't really surprise me with the way he writes stuff. Like that kind of makes sense that he really wouldn't like a character like Deadpool.
That makes sense.
No, and so he says if he could change that, he would, but he can't because there's so much that went on in that series. So Deadpool was the original wearer of the black costume before Spider-Man got it. So the reason why Venom was so attached to Spider-Man is because Deadpool is so
attached to Spider-Man. Wow, that is so sick.
Since Deadpool has a fascination with Spider-Man, Venom got his fascination for Spider-Man from Deadpool. Because every time you swear that, you know what I'm saying, it keeps a piece of the personality. Mm-hmm. So the piece of personality he kept from Deadpool was a piece of his regenerative ability and his love for Spider-Man. That's why it bonded with Spider-Man so easily.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
You find that out in the Deadpool Super Secret Wars.
Y'all get an education here on the Crossover Comics podcast.
That's right. That's right.
Remember that.
I didn't even know that. That is.
If your mom says do your homework, tell them I am.
Exactly. Make sure you're taking notes, everybody. Okay, because we're gonna have a quiz next week, so make sure you're ready.
No, we're not.
Again. So that's what I really like to do. I just like to teach people about Deadpool because I feel like there's like a real misconception about him that he's just a gag character. Mm-hmm. He's just a hijinks character. But no, he's got some pretty serious moments. Like the reason why T'Challa was able to do what he did during Doom Wars was because of Deadpool. If Deadpool doesn't show up to help T'Challa, then they don't beat Dr. Doom at all.
Right.
I'll say nobody seems to ever want Deadpool around, but he always shows up when they finally end up needing Deadpool.
Nah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Look at the recent X-Force when he showed up and he was like, "Hey, I'm Deadpool," and they're like, "Oh, come on, Wade." Trust me. Even Sue Storm was like when they first started teaming up together. Sue Storm was like that, like, "God, why you?" And then next thing you know, they're banging. So it's like.
He grows on you.
Well, look at Captain America. Captain America hates his guts, but he needed him to beat them clones.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This definitely opened my eyes to Deadpool, and I definitely want to do some more reading on Deadpool because, dude, I didn't even know it was this deep. Like, dude, this is like so cool. I would never thought of this, and now that I see, like, what you told me about Deadpool and like these stories, it takes a very creative writer to write this character. I can definitely see it because at this point, what else can you put a situation for Deadpool? You know.
I mean, they just put him into his own manga, so now he's over in Japan messing stuff up.
Yeah, right. He's Deadpool Samurai, where he wrote his own manga. And he put himself into the world of anime.
Yeah.
So he put himself in the world of anime. So he's like, he wrote himself to be best friends with All Might.
Wow. I got you.
And him and All Might teamed up to beat Thanos.
And he's constantly like making fun of Shonen Jump and Viz Media throughout the entire book. Or the time that he actually there's little known Deadpool side stories, right? So we know Deadpool killed the Marvel Universe. Everybody knows that one. You know, I got a copy that, I got a copy of that, and it's sitting right here in front of me, right? So everybody knows that. So what people don't know is at the end of that book, after he killed the entire Marvel Universe, he got bored, he went to Man-Thing and asked Man-Thing to put him into the real world. So he ends up teleporting to the room with his writers.
Oh my God.
So what happened was Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe was originally canon, and then he went to the writers and said, make it non-canon so these guys are still alive. And put him.
I remember seeing something about that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've read it, but I've seen something about it.
He actually convinced the writers to make it non-canon. And then he got bored. And then the sequel to Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe is Deadpool Illustrated. Now, if you ever want to pick up, it's a 4 books, right? Deadpool Illustrated is 4 books. If you want to pick it up, if you really want to talk, like, you know how people always have the, like, oh, this guy will solo fiction? Well, Deadpool actually did it.
Oh, wow.
It's called Deadpool Illustrated. It's a 4-part series where he actually went around different fictional tales and killed the main characters. He killed Scrooge.
That's awesome.
He killed Scrooge from he became the ghost of Christmas Future. Killed Scrooge. Killed Moby Dick. He put a bomb inside Moby Dick and killed Moby Dick. Killed Ahab. It took Sherlock Holmes, Mulan, Conan, and there was one other person. It took like a whole squad. It was like, and it ended up being Sherlock Holmes at the end. Like, he was about to kill Sherlock Holmes, and Sherlock Holmes at the end convinced him not to kill him because if he killed him, all the heroes would be dead. And then what would be a hero? So then he goes, and then Sherlock Holmes starts talking to him about. So everything ended up getting restored because Deadpool remembered what it was to be a hero, and ended up restoring everybody he killed.
Bro, Deadpool can solo your.
He really was out here erasing all fiction. He killed Mulan and everything.
That's crazy. Deadpool can literally solo your whole universe.
That's what they said. That's funny. It's like, oh, really? And I was like, oh, really? Deadpool solos anime. They're like, no, he can't beat this person. I'm like, Deadpool Samurai. Just read it. Just read Deadpool Samurai, bro.
It really is so good. I got both volumes on my shelf.
Yeah, I got it right over here as well, man. It's like Deadpool Samurai. You got to read it because this man was in Shonen Jump, destroying everybody.
Bro.
Making fun of Shonen Jump in a Shonen Jump book.
That's crazy.
In a Shonen Jump book.
That's crazy. So real quick.
In love with All Might.
So real quick, because I gotta check this out. Nava, I just want to say thank you for being on this show, man. I think this is one of our funniest episodes. Like, we had so much.
100%.
I'm thinking right now. I'm just thinking like what clips I could put on TikTok because TikTok be tripping. So I'm gonna try to find our family friendly clips, put them on there. I don't know how, but I just want to say.
Well, we didn't really curse or nothing all like that.
No,
so.
true.
I tried not to. See, I was meaning. I tried to censor myself.
True. But TikTok, they be wilding. But I will say this: I got some homework to do. I need to read some Deadpool. I definitely want to check out this Deadpool The End because you mentioned that like multiple times, so I'm definitely trying that. But before we sign off,
I don't think we're going to see Longbox for another week at least.
No, you're probably not. I got homework to do. I got homework.
Hey, he's actually going, and I know Longbox, so he's actually going to read it.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, no, you'll end up seeing videos about it next week, I'm sure.
Oh yes.
If you do, man, tag me in them, man, because I love to see people. Deadpool The End, I love seeing the reaction, right? Yeah. Especially when you get to the part, and I know said no spoilers, especially when you get to certain parts, you're gonna read that and go, oh,
okay, man.
I'm just gonna leave it alone. You're gonna read that and go, oh no. Let's just say he pulled a Dr. Manhattan. I'll just tell you that much.
Oh, okay, bro. See, now I'm in there. So, guys,
I think that's a perfect time, like, moment to sign off.
Yes,
like, that's great.
That is perfect. But real quick, Nava, if you have anything that you want to plug, tell the people where we can find you.
Oh yeah, so you can find me on TikTok, NavajoJonesThe3rd. I normally post daily, at least to try to get 2 to 3 videos daily. A lot of it is Batman slander, so if you are a Batman fan, you probably want to stay away from my page. I do post a lot of Bat slander because there's a lot of people that just will say things about Batman that's not true, and after a while,
I would say at least it's not even slander because slander implies that you're just talking out your rear end.
Right.
You come with receipts every video I've ever seen. You come and make. So you've got panels, you've got the physical book, you've got evidence to back up everything you say. So,
yep, for real. Like I said, so I do have a YouTube channel which is the same name, NavajoJonesThe3rd. If you go to my TikTok, you'll find I do have an Instagram as well where I post my videos and stuff like that. So you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Cool beans. Sounds good. All right, JJ, sign us off, man.
All right. Well, as always, you guys, thank you for joining us on the Crossover Comics podcast. You know where you can find me in Longbox. If you've been listening to this long enough, you should know by now we're pretty much everywhere with the same screen names that you see in the description of this video. We'll also leave links to Nava's stuff. Make sure everybody go check him out. Give him a follow on all his accounts. Go and check out the Crossover Comics YouTube page. We have 4 or 5 other shows on there now at this point. Like it's getting a bit ridiculous, but it's awesome. Everybody's got great shows, great content lately. So anyways, all that aside, I am tired. I'm signing off out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be safe, be kind, and take it easy.